Hello, welcome back to Learn Economy. In this video, we are going to look into a very new topic. Although the topic is not that new, the topic has been discussed very recently. It is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, prevention of money laundering is very important when it comes to illegal kind of activities, and this act was actually passed in 2002. So this act is known as Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002. Though it was passed in 2002, we could see that a lot of illegal kind of activities are happening in recent days. So I think it is very important to discuss this act now. So let's go to the video. Before understanding what this money laundering act is, it's important to understand what money laundering is. Okay, this is actually money laundering is a kind of illegal process. The main objective of money laundering is to make huge sums of money, and these huge sums of money is actually generated by criminal activity, and these kinds of criminal activity would include drug trafficking, terrorist funding, all these kinds of activities. Okay, so the main intention of the people who involve in these kinds of activities is to make huge sums of money. The first stage is when the money deprived through crime is introduced into the formal financial system, which is known as placement. And in the second stage, what happens is that money which is introduced in that manner is actually introduced in the system, or it is introduced, or which is already introduced in the system, is layered, and it is spread out various transactions with an intention to clear the tainted origin of money, and this is known as layering. So first step is known as placement, and second step is known as layering. And in the third stage, which is also known as the final stage, the money would enter the financial system. Here what happens is that the crime is sought to be, it is considered to be cleared, in the sense that the money could be used by the offender or a person who would be receiving it as a clean money. So this is known as integration. So there are three steps here. First of all, placement, then layering, then integration. In the integration process, it is very difficult to differentiate between the money which is created illegally or legally. Okay. Now, coming specifically to Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002, this act is actually passed by the Parliament of India, and this is enacted by the NDA government in order to prevent money laundering kind of things, and to provide for confiscation of property derived from money laundering. Okay. And even though the act was passed in 2002, it came into force in 2005. Actually, it was implemented in 2005. It was enacted in 2002 and came into force in 2005. The main objective of this was to fight money laundering, and also it aimed to convert black money into white money. The act enabled the government authority to confiscate the property which was earned as a result of these kinds of illegal kind of money laundering. This act was amended many times. It happened in 2009. In 2009, this act was amended, and also in 2012 there was an amendment of this particular act. Here, the burden of proof lies with the accused, who has proved that the suspect property or asset have not been obtained through the proceeds of crime. Now, coming specifically to the objectives of money laundering, we have seen that it is mainly to prevent money laundering, and the PMLA also aimed at compacting illegal activities and also economic crimes, and it actually confiscate the property which is derived as a result of money laundering, and also it deals with what? Black money. Next, what are the features of Money Laundering Act of 2002? The act actually provides for punishment as a result of involvement in money laundering. It tells that a person who is found as guilty of involving in money laundering would be punishable with some rigorous imprisonment from 3 years to 7 years, and also you can see that the proceeds of crime involved relate to any offence under paragraph 2 of part A of schedule, which this is with respect to offences under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act of 1985. Here the maximum punishment could be extended to 10 years. It was not 7 years. Okay. Now, next feature is that powers of attachment of taint property. Here the director or the officer who is above the rank of the deputy director, he with the authority of director, he can provisionally attach the property which is believed to be the proceeds of crime for 180 days. In the case of such an order, this is required to be confirmed by an independent adjudicating authority. What is an adjudicating authority? Here, the authority appointed by the central government through notification to exercise jurisdiction, powers, and authority conferred under PMLA. This is known as an adjudicating authority. It would be taking decisions regarding whether any property attached is involved in money laundering, and also this body is bound by the procedure laid down by the Code of Civil Procedure of 1908, but shall be guided by the principle of the natural justice and also subject to other provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This body has got all the powers to regulate its procedure. Next feature is presumption in interconnected transactions. We could see that where money laundering involves two or more interconnected transactions and one or more such kind of transactions are proved to be involved in money laundering, then the purpose of adjudication or confiscation would actually take into consideration all the activities which were involved in this particular act. So these in all the interconnected transaction would be considered as money laundering activities. Now, next is burden of proof. A person who is considered to be accused of having committed an offense with respect to money laundering, he has to prove that the alleged proceeds of crime are in fact lawful property. Then only he could escape. Otherwise, he would be liable to experience punishment. Next is appellate tribunal. This is actually a body which is appointed by the government of India, and this body is given the power to hear appeals against the orders of adjudicating authority. Here the tribunal can be appealed in appropriate high court, and finally if their stand is rejected by the high court, they can approach the Supreme Court. Next is special court. If you look into the section 43 of Money Laundering Act of 2002, it says that the central government, in consultation with the Chief Justice of High Court, can go for a trial of offence which is punishable under section 4 by notification, or he can designate one or more courts of session as special court for the area or areas for such case or class, group or of cases which may be specified in the notification. So as per the notification, some special court could be allotted to hear the case. What are the offences under PMLA? Offences are actually mentioned in parts A and C of the schedule of A and C schedule of this act, and part A would include acts like Indian Penal Code, Prevention of Corruption and Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances and Antiquities Act, and Art Treasures Act, Trademark Act, Wildlife Protection and Copyright Act, and Information Technology Act. Coming to part B, we will be having offences that are mentioned in part A but are of value of 1 crore or more. In the part C, there will be trans-border crimes. What are the penalties under PMLA? We have seen some penalties, but we have to understand the details of this. We could see that the various actions could be initiated against the persons who are found to be guilty as a result of his or her involvement in different kinds of money laundering. So in this case, there can be freezing of property or records which is attached to the money laundering activities. Then there would be rigorous imprisonment for 3 years, and which could be extended to 7 years, and there can be fine. And also we could see that the punishment can go up to 10 years with a fine if it is related to narcotic drugs and all. Authorities that can investigate under PMLI would include many. The Enforcement Directorate is actually the main body which would be responsible for investigating offences under PMLA. The Financial Intelligence Unit is a national agency which would be receiving, processing, analyzing and disseminating the information related to suspect of financial transactions. So that's all for today. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and be a part of my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. I'll be providing the links of the same in the description box. Thank you.